I hope you're having an amazing day. My name is Colin. In this video, we're going to have a look at the crypto market of today, and it's actually looking quite promising with the fear and greed index pointing at extreme fear. However, obviously that was before the actual Bitcoin spike. That showed a linear upward trend today. So basically in the last 24 hours, there was some kind of crazy action going on right here, basically pushing Bitcoin from 39.2K all the way to 41.5K, then imminent crash, people taking their profits, I assume. But that did spike a slowly linear upward trend that basically at around noon UTC pushed Bitcoin above 40K. So obviously the 40K benchmark is always nice. Right now we're hovering just above 40K. For the top 100 coins, as everything moves with Bitcoin, we can definitely see it has some good traction. Ethereum back at 2.7K, and basically almost all the top 100 coins slowly into the green. We have some bigger gainers like Sandbox and Waves. Waves has been doing quite good lately, Elrond as well. Those are basically the two major 7-day gainers. Apart from like Thorsten and the graph, when we move a little bit lower. When we move all the way down, we do still see some significant losses across the 7-day average. And that's something I want to focus on today, specifically when we look at the launchpads and the crypto gaming space. Overall, Kadena back 10% down. So on their Binance listing, they did really well. That was that huge spike right here. But obviously the market conditions, right? The bullishness is just not there to basically maintain that momentum. So the market is still quite bearish, and that's what we'll see when we move into the crypto gaming space. But before we do that, I just want to quickly have a look at the Track Digits fasting tracker. As I mentioned yesterday, and perhaps you haven't seen the video, the Track Digits fasting tracker will soon, and when I say soon, I mean later this week, be available for everybody to use for free. So this is a tracking software we built, and when I say we, I mean me and the team, to basically ensure that the vesting is collected when it should be collected. So you do not have to track your IDO vesting in Excel any longer. You can use this tool, easily add your tokens, connect with Google Calendar, and you receive notifications 10 minutes before you need to claim your tokens, so you can sell them on time and obviously get the highest ROI potentially on your tokens. So trackdigits.com, join the link in the description. It will bring you to the Discord of Digits Club, and that is where you will find the announcement to join the platform. 100% free of charge while in beta. Let's have a look at the crypto gaming, because that is obviously what I've been looking at quite a lot today, just to understand how the Bitcoin is actually, the swing is actually affecting it. But you can see the dominance went up by 0.8%. So 42.8 yesterday, it's now 43%, Bitcoin becoming more dominant. What this means is that the relative market cap of Bitcoin due to the increase has increased more than the overall value of the market. We can see this when we open up the categories, for example. So the categories, obviously there are some significant gainers like DAOs, but that's basically because of some projects really pulling in. But when we scroll down, you see most of the categories have very minor gains. There's still even a couple of categories that have losses on average, right? So the average price change is not positive. Then there's a whole list of, let's say, less than 10% gain. So when we weigh it to Bitcoin, which is 3.78, right, there's like a huge list, which is basically more than 70%, which also follows the Bitcoin pattern or less, right, less significant. And then there's only some categories, which is maybe 1/4, that perform better. And usually that's solely because the ratios are quite small. So the Phantom ecosystem is recovering really well, with 74% of the projects in the green and only 26 in the red. But if you have like small amount of projects in the category, it's easier for it to perform when one coin goes real bullish, right? That's just something I want you to be aware of here. Then on the crypto gaming, right? The crypto gaming is definitely, this is where we see that the market is still bearish. Normally, when crypto would make such a pump, and I'm specifically looking at this pump, the whole crypto gaming space would pump 10-15%. Right? But it's not, because now we are basically entering stage 2 or maybe even stage 3 of the bearish market, when people are just skeptical. People are getting more resistant to the pumps, not as emotional. You can see it still pumps, right? Sandbox did almost 9%. So on a 7-day average, it's still doing really good. Axie Infinity, really good, but still, Decentraland still down 7%. That's quite intense, right? Render 13%, Yield Guild Games 11%, Vulcan 14%, My Neighbor Alice 9%, and those are like the bigger projects, right? When we scale down, Seedify, although it's up 5% today, it had lost 20% in the last 7 days. So one day are focused on crypto gaming, which is not doing that well, and obviously they're also a launchpad, which is like doing very bad these days. However, I do think the reversal that I spoke about yesterday is imminent, right? I think that in a short period of time, we should see some more volatility, either the way up or the way down, but moving to basically a more stable trend, I think, is unlikely. There's just too much going on, right, in the market currently. So when we look at basically the tokens that I would like to review, today I basically want to pick 5 tokens which I think might be interesting. So we'll focus on 5 tokens for the gaming space, and then we'll do 5 tokens for the launchpads, as I know you guys like gaming tokens as much as you like launchpads. For me, these things go hand in hand, right? So I definitely want to focus on Defina, because I did get a lot of questions about that from my last video, why I think it's quite interesting. It's not even on the first page anymore. We have to go to the second page in order to find it, but it's right here. And of course, when I did call it, so I did mention this on the Discord, right? So if you're not in the Discord, make sure to join through the link in the description. 33 cents right now, 40 cents, so definitely a good pump. The market cap is just extremely low. You can only buy it on PancakeSwap, right? Well, or Maxi, but I don't use Maxi, so I would have to buy it on PancakeSwap. You got the bots. You can't buy that much because the market cap is so low. So this is perhaps an interesting swing trade for anybody dealing with less than $1,000, right? 20% gain, I mean, still quite bullish, right? Definitely a solid rebound that it has gone through the last 7 days. Although it came from 48, it did crash quite a bit. Looking at a 1-month linear Dow trend, you can see that U pattern being formed, right? It's going in a slight slope. That linear downward trend was basically all the way up until this point, slightly linear and then down again, but now rebounding. Yeah, just an interesting project. So when you look at the project itself, the game, mediocre, but it's specifically the KOL structure and the team they have behind it that make the ecosystem quite interesting, right? The whole 5 pinnacles that they have in terms of the game modes, and basically the backing of the different investors involved, makes it, advisors as well, makes it quite interesting for me in terms of, you know, this is not an A+ style game, but it's something like Neneko, where you do want to keep your eye on it, because even though it's not going to make you $500,000, this could easily, in a crypto gaming bull run, reach you 50 to 100K if you make the entry on time, right? So Defina Finance, Fina definitely on my list. I think it's quite interesting. Basically because of the huge devaluation that it has gone through, right? I'm trying not to pick my most often picked coins, right? Because I usually discuss most of the same coins, but there are definitely some more interesting opportunities. So Neneko specifically, this is a 1 month, but if you look at the year to date, look at how much opportunity this, so it's almost at the lowest low, right? And this was basically, if we look at the all-time chart, right? This was basically after the crypto gaming bull run, you could deep dive. So it went to like 75 cents, and it basically crashed to 10 cents, and it has been pumping relatively, but it's more of a short-term, medium-term thing, right? It's not like a significant trend. I don't think this type of trend would return. I don't think it's that type of game that I would value it at $1, which would basically give it $160 million fully diluted market cap. I think it might happen if the bull run sets in again, but I think there are better opportunities at that point. This is more of like a short-term swing trade that might play and bring interesting opportunities, therefore, right? When we go into the tokens, I think CryoWar, obviously an all-time good one. Definitely some big volume right here, maybe a vesting release or something. But this is definitely, in terms of the development progress, one of my favorites. I'm not going to put it on the list for now because you guys know, I assume if you watch my channel often, what I think about it. But this is actually the one Nakamoto Games that we're writing a research report on in Digits Club. So just need to wait for the website to load, right? Quite a big team as well, overall. And yeah, it might be something a little bit new, right? Or let's say new, I mean, when you have a variety of different things, right? The dashboard, everything is ready, and it looks quite decent. I think it has quite a bit of room to grow. It's an unverified market cap of 11 million, but as you can see, came from $5, came from $6, and the foundation is quite good. It's on the Polygon blockchain. So this was mentioned by one of the community members. After that, I decided to check it out. So I do think that is quite interesting because of the structure, how it works, right? And that's what I would say is one of the most important things. It's not necessarily only about the valuation. It's not necessarily only about the price. It's not necessarily only about the vesting, the price. It's really about the game, right? What's going on with the game. So the whole Mobland, which used to be, is the Sinner token, which used to be Sin City. So they changed the name. Yes, it has a really good backing, but this project has not delivered anything, right? So the NFTs that I minted 38 of their NFTs. I flipped them for a huge profit because they just have no updates. Now, they said after Christmas. Now we're 3.5 months, almost 3 months later, and still 90 days, and still these NFTs are not revealed, right? So they have some cool investors, definitely, don't get me wrong, right? They have very cool partners and consultants, right? Because it used to say, or advisors, I would say. So it says partners, Merit Circle Game, Unix Gaming Guild, Neo Tokyo, Superfarm. So I'm a member of the Superfarm Genesis collection. I'm a member of Neo Tokyo with like 6 citizens. Unix Gaming is one of our main partners for Digit Club. Merit Circle is a guild we know. Yet I'm not bullish on this game. Why not? Because as transparent as I always am, it's not really about it's definitely about the backing, so it's important, but this just looks like a boring game, right? This is a copy of an original game and they're altering it. It's not like free to move, it's like some kind of turn-based shooting. The graphics and stuff, how it's presented, it looks like it has tremendous amount of potential, but I would love to see this in a free world Grand Theft Auto style way and not how it is. So it is definitely, maybe it has some opportunity, but look at this fully diluted market cap. So the price is 6 cents. It's sitting fully diluted at $620 million. Obviously, the person who designed this tokenomics is fucking retarded, right? Like, this makes no sense in the current market conditions. Although it never really lost any value because they launched so late. So they launched when the market was already bearish. So they never really had the chance to pump yet. However, I mean, $620 million valuation fully diluted for a game that is not even a game yet, there's not even a demo, nothing, is ridiculous, right? So I'm not going to waste any time on that. I'm not going to, maybe for like the extremely long term when they have like more things to consider, there might be some additional opportunity there. I just don't see that opportunity right now. Altura, obviously NFT marketplace, definitely bullish in this in the long term. Look at how much value it lost. The main thing of interest, I think, in Altura is that it continuously regains its steps, right? Out of the basically the pattern that we see in the market. It has some spikes here and there, and I do think that has some potential. I have a separate video on my channel about swing trading Altura because it's so quite volatile. Then you would really need to look at the new games like PegXC, which has been out, which is the D-Race competitor. But the volumes are very low in the current market conditions, right? So if we would have to make a little list of 5 games, right? Because it was supposed to be 5 games that you could consider out of this list. I will just select a couple, which I think is interesting, and I haven't researched all of them, right? But I definitely think Defina 1. Then we have, what else we have? Aspo, I like 2. Aspo I really followed since the beginning, so that's quite cool. It used to do really well as well, Aspo World, but it just basically completely fucking crashed. Look, I was there since the beginning. I didn't join the actual IDO, but I followed it since the beginning. I was quite impressed. Look at that, $1.80 at the all-time high, sitting at about 4 fucking cents right now. $500,000 market cap, almost no volume. This would be like a straight gamble. Just put in like $5,000 and either you'll have $1 million next bull run or you get fucking wrecked. Definitely extremely high risk. With Aspo World, I just like Nineko, number 3, right? Outer Ring has been getting a lot of hype around it, right? The Outer Ring MMO, so that could definitely be number 4. I'm trying to pick the ones that I'm not usually picking, right? So Outer Ring, definitely not something that I considered during the IDO because I just didn't have the time, right? But I can definitely see that the vesting is quite long, more of a long-term view. Has Bluezilla as a partner. That's interesting. Other than that, not any huge backers. But all in general, in regards to Outer Ring, it's more of a fun to play game, I feel like, style, and it appears to have quite a bit of traction. So that could definitely be one to consider. NFT Worlds, of course, something to consider. Not really gaming, but more into the NFT side of that project. So we skip Cryo War. We got the Nakamoto games. We got this one, NetFox, that's how it's pronounced, also on the NFT side of things. You might want to consider Bid Hotels, not really my thing. Same as Sinners, not really my thing. Altura is right here. PegXC, Ducky Land. It's more of a long-term play. So I did invest quite a bit in Ducky Land. It's right now very slightly below IDO, but it's keeping quite stable. So that's actually quite good in terms of the results. See, it's like extremely stable. It's like very little volume, $500,000 only. Fully diluted market cap, 37 million, not that bad, because that's actually the IDO price. So as we join private, we're still good. And then of course, Magic Craft, bullish on it long term. In regards to, I think even they had a vesting release, that's why I dumped a little bit more. But yeah, extremely affordable right now, only $2.5 million market cap. At some point, I will make a re-entry into Magic Craft. Fully diluted, still a little bit high at 70 million. So the vesting, I think, is being released in March. So if I go to Crypto Rank, when the vesting would be released, obviously after that moment, but I think there's four periods on the vesting. They removed it, so it's not available. Details, no lockup, 3 months lockup and then 12 months linear vesting. Okay, so in that case they do still have a decent ROI, right? 75% gain on their initial investment. However, the vesting is about to be released. So the 18th, which is I think today or yesterday. I'm not too sure which day is it today. The 16th, so it's in 2 days. The vesting will be released. So then it might be an entry opportunity if you want to be early, right? Because likely that people will paper hand it and dump it anyway. Other than that, there's like so many more choices, but nothing I'm really looking into detail. The thing is, to be fair, 100% transparent with you guys, as I always am. I just don't have the time at the moment to research all these projects. I'm very busy with Digits Club, Track Digits, the launchpad that we're developing for Digits Club. So it's basically really busy days that I have. I can barely make these videos. Obviously, it's one of my favorite things to do for you guys. But yeah, those 5 picks would be it for now. Launchpads though, because launchpads, I do have my 5 picks ready. So as I mentioned, after the initial pump on Polka Starter for the Binance listing, there was a huge dump. Afterwards, it's actually holding up a lot better, because I said it would go back to like 120 and it's about 150. So it definitely gained some value of that Binance listing, and basically it went from 5 million a day volume to 500 million, about 330 million right now. It's still tremendously high for a launchpad, right? So that's really good. When we look at the other launchpads, everything is losing big time still, right? Nothing has changed. The Bitcoin pump only reflects very minor in terms of the actual launchpads overall. Communitas making some small gains, GameZone making some gains, but look at this loss, 21%, PulsePad 39%. Those are very hard percentages to overcome, basically, even if the market turns around. Look, NFT launch gaining 17% today, but still at a 4% minus. Engine starter has been a fucking nightmare, 38% in the minus. Coming from basically an all-time high of 21 cents. When did they launch? So they launched, yeah, right in a good period, and they're very much struggling to stay alive through the bearish market. Volume still quite decent, market cap still quite decent, fully diluted, I think a little bit high, no major exchanges. I don't think that will help at all. They just need to push through, maybe change their staking contract, something like this, in order to keep the value. However, look at this, AnyPad 46% down from the all-time high price of 9 cents, right? Yeah, 9 cents. So that's like lost so much value. Today, basically, even it's moving down even more. At some point, it will basically be 72k volume. It's almost bare nothing. It will be the whales that will dominate this platform, right? It makes sense. You only get like 1 launch a month right now on AnyPad, so I do understand the people. Although I am a personal fan of AnyPad, right, in terms of the launches only. I do understand why people are paper handing it right now. Same as with True PNL. These are good launch pads. So if I would make a list, I would say True PNL, I don't like the platform, I don't like the team, but cheap launches are cheap launches. So True PNL, same goes for AnyPad, cheap right now, extremely cheap. Then I would go with, let me see, probably Communitas, right? I did an AMA with the CEO of Communitas, affordable, stable price, the burning. So that's number 3. Anything from this list? Yes, CDFI, but I don't think CDFI is as eligible still, because we're still talking about guaranteed allocation for $4,000. So for most people, that's not really that reachable. So I'll probably add in different ones. Anything on the bottom that we see that might be of interest? Not really. Probably Firestarter in this case. Yeah, 15 cents. I mean, like, come on, man. That's like coming from an all-time high of fucking $3, sitting at 15 cents right now. That's like a gift, right? Coming from 14 cents, that's like a crazy gift. 15 million fully diluted, still a little bit on the high side for what it is. They only done like 4 or 5 launches, I believe. 400k volume, not bad for what they have. It's obviously listed on KuCoin, where like the majority of the volume is coming from. So definitely Firestarter number 4. And then I would make a little bit of a gamble and go with the Unix Gaming, right? So I would go with the Unix Gaming Launchpad solely because that has been quite stable in terms of volume, at least since I got in. So I got in at 19.6, it's 19.4. In the meantime, it did shoot up to like 29. There were some dumps because of the epoch, but there also were some buying orders. So definitely looking that it has large potential. This is not only the launchpad, right? Unix is a whole gaming ecosystem, like a guild, marketplace. They're developing their own game, and it will all utilize the Unix token. But I'm just solely talking about the launchpad right now, which they are trying to get live with like different functionalities. So definitely my 5 launchpads to select would be Firestarter, Unix, CD5 if you have a lot of money, but definitely Communitas for if you have almost no money, AnyPad if you have almost no money, True PNL if you have no money. And when I say you have no money, I don't mean that disrespectfully. I mean that in a way where you actually get access to allocation, because if the crypto bull run would occur, even these lower quality launchpads would be inaccessible for people with only $500. Right? I don't know if you should invest if you have that kind of money, but that's obviously up to you. You make your own judgments on that. But that's basically the 5 games and 5 launchpads I would consider right now. Everything is looking quite good, you know. As I said, primarily when we look at this, the effects of the Bitcoin pump is not really reflecting in terms of, it's moving up, right? So it continues to move up hour by hour. We might see 41K later today, but what we're not seeing is a huge spike, a huge reflect in the actual crypto gaming tokens. One thing I have been considering is moving my stables into Ethereum, actually, because I'm getting more and more bullish on Ethereum as a coin as is, with the whole ecosystem, obviously, what it can do and what it has done. But working in my own business, building stuff on Ethereum, I'm realizing or trying to understand the power of this more and more and more. What that means is that I'm actually more bullish on holding, let's say, 25, 35, 45% of my portfolio in Ethereum rather than any other, except Luna maybe, of these top 10 coins, right? So maybe Luna, Solana, AVAX, maybe I would do, let's say 25.5 and then another 20, probably would be like 30, 10, 5, something like this in percentages. And then the rest play with the high risk stuff because that's what I like. But that's still all yet undecided. Right? Everything is yet undecided. Also, I'm not going to make any significant entries until I see the Fear and Greed Index pull up. So I definitely am a fan of this tool because it's very easy guiding how the market, excuse me, how the market is feeling and what other people are doing. I'm doing basically the complete opposite of that. When others are fearful, I'm looking to buy. When others tending to get greedy, I'm holding back a little bit. So as we have 3 extreme fears in a row, if we would get basically another week of extreme fear, that I think in terms of the Bitcoin stability as well, hovering around 40, 44K. And by no means am I a technical analysis expert, obviously. I think there might be some opportunity to make some more significant entries into gaming crypto. Going back to basically my original idea of just buying, let's say, 5K of Mana, 5K of Sand, 5K of Axie Infinity, just basically 5K of Ultra, 5K of Illuvium, right? Just taking those positions, 5K of Vulcan after I've sold my Vulcan, 5K of Meta Hero, right? All the projects that I like, 5K for Recipe. Basically just spread the risk across all these projects that when the run happens, I'm basically going to switch as soon as people are going to buy because of the bull run, I'm going to sell. Basically, that's the thing. And I won't sell everything at once. I'll take like a step ladder like I usually do. But this time, I definitely want to focus on the profit, not as much as hold. And look how much coins I have. Look how big of a portfolio I have. I want to make money to invest that money into other money-making assets. I do not want to hold $5 million worth of crypto, right? It's not really my thing because of the volatility. All right, let's have a look at the NFT market, because there's definitely some interesting new things here. CryptoPunks back at 1, MeBits back there as well because of the acquisition, and Bored Ape Yacht Club. So basically these 4 right now, I think it's all the same company after the acquisition of the labs, right? So they acquired, Bored Ape acquired these 2, I think, the creators of these 2. I'm not really too sure. I'm not really on top of the NFT space, but I'm trying to get more into it when I have time. So this one I don't even know, this one I don't know, this one I don't know. So the Clone X was there. We can definitely see that the prices are a little bit down, right? But that's like, Ethereum is lower, which would make the NFT market more attractive. However, I did see a report yesterday that the overall OpenSea volume compared to January is down about 65%. So definitely a lot more people are feeling bearish, which you can see overall. Raid Party, Sandbox still there, Bored Ape Kennel Club still quite high, but all the Bored Ape stuff has basically been pumping, I feel like, since that announcement. And that announcement will die off and slowly decline. Free Friends up because of the next launch, right? Coming, Free Friends 2, so 15.8, very high. Then any other projects, Journey sitting at 2, a lot of FUD on the project, people complaining. If you want to know that, check Discord. White Sands also passed. So we have been looking at White Sands in the Digits Club. Quite interesting projects. Half an Ethereum right now. And then we got the Chemistry Club. KG Kings 1.4. Mavia Land. Okay, so this is also something that we have been looking at Digits Club after we did the AMA with Unix Gaming last week. The land plots that can be built upon. Definitely interesting. So a legendary land would run you about 3.5 Ethereum, and then a rare land would run you about 1.5, and then a common land about 0.6. So the legendary lands are definitely the most interesting. I haven't exactly looked into what the land would be delivering. So it's HQ level 1 tropical legendary, 10% is legendary, but it's like a I think a Clash of Clans type of game, so it's definitely interesting. And this is basically not something I put my focus on. I definitely put my focus on the coins, but while the coins have been down with my wallet, with my like personal wallet, I've been playing like the NFT market a little bit, and it's actually been going extremely well. So I made like a good amount of Ethereum just playing on the NFT market, buying low, selling high, being patient, right? Being patient is definitely the #1 most important thing in regards to the NFT market. They're illiquid, so don't assume to sell them one day after you bought them. Some might sell an hour after you bought them. Others, which from my experience, I need to hold them about 1 to 6 weeks on average, right? So do not go lower than your purchase price just because you want to get rid of them. You gotta see through the lows to get the highest ups. I want a MyPad Hooligan, but it's still 1.1 Ethereum. So I'm gonna wait, see if the market becomes a little bit more bearish, and then I'll pick one up, because I do like that project. I do like the game, how they're developing it. So a little bullish on that. Neo Tokyo Outer Identities, I did pick one up, put it for sale. So there's 4,495, and I own basically the top tier level 5 one. This one is mine. I think I'm going to delist it. I'm not going to sell it. It's for sale for 28 Ethereum. But I bought this on a really cheap snipe. It's the number 5 out of 4,500. So probably not going to sell it. Probably going to keep it for my status collection. Show off. Maybe sell it for 100 Ethereum in the bull run. Who knows? But yeah, that's outer identity upload is coming later this week. So the outer identities of Neo Tokyo will be uploaded and join the Citadel. So that's why there's a little bit more traction on that NFT set right now, the last 7 days. Then, do we have anything else that I might be interested in? Not really. The Treeverse I've been following for a long time. Snoop Dogg, Bomb Squad, Rubber Dog, Wolf Game, Meta Hero Universe, Dap, China Chick, Network Land. Yeah, definitely a lot of collections that I've never heard about. Basically, I don't even scroll through this ever. I just use the search bar, type in what I'm looking for, and then get to the collections that I want. Definitely volume down significantly. It's harder to flip NFTs these days. One of the most important things, project without utilities or insanely long roadmaps, the projects will not sell out. You cannot flip the NFTs. So the whole NFT flipping anything works, that period is definitely over, right? You need some quality projects right now to actually make some money on that or take some more significant risk. That's basically the 5 crypto games, the 5 crypto launch pads that you might want to consider. Depending on the market sentiment and how things are going, these obviously might change. And then obviously I'll give my opinion. If you watched this long into the video, thank you so much for watching. I do really appreciate your support. If you're interested in a free Track Digits account, make sure to join the Discord in the description below. It will take you to Digits Club, where later this week in the Track Digits section, I'll make an announcement and you can claim your free account to track your IDO vesting and never miss a claim again. This was everything for today. Check back tomorrow for more crypto market updates. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.